Welcome to Healthy Skeptics, where we take a no BS approach to holistic health.
We're a mother-daughter duo who believe in redefining health by going beyond rigid protocols, detox fads, and restricted diets.
Here, we dig deep into root causes, challenging traditional and holistic medicine, and talk about what really works in today's world to help you feel your best.
Join us as we sift through the noise, tackle myths, and offer real insights into holistic health with a healthy dose of skepticism.
Okay, welcome back. So we are in part 2 of this whole weird, gross health trends in order to fight toxins. Because I think that's like the overall theme here that we're seeing. So much fear-mongering about toxins in the wellness industry. So much. An extreme amount. And now we're at the point where we're seeing extreme health trends in order to improve your detoxification. So we have urine for toxin load. We have poop for
not so much toxin, but for rebuilding your microbiome that then actually helps you eliminate,
which is
toxin.
Get rid of toxins.
Yeah.
And then we have the coffee enema thing,
which is trying to shoot for the liver detoxification system. Which let's just think. Can we just think about anatomy for just one moment? There's a tube that goes from here out
the butt.
Yeah. That's your tube.
Yes.
There's no connection in the tube if you're putting coffee up the backside.
Yeah.
How is that getting to your liver?
Yeah.
I'm just curious. It's kind of like the castrol in the belly button.
Well, that's another.
I'm just saying.
We're going to talk about that. That will be a later episode this month.
Yeah.
So we're going to deep dive into coffee enemas because this is something I think I even said, like, there's people that I really respect in the wellness, health, functional medicine industry.
Mm-hmm.
Some of our really good friends
Yes.
that promote coffee enemas. So it is everywhere. And so there's sides.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if you've been here for a minute, you probably know which side we fall on. But again, I think it's good to talk about why this is happening, what people are seeing the benefits, blah, blah.
Yeah. Well,
whatever.
Okay. I don't know why I do know why this started. I guess it was the Gerson therapy. It was Dr. Gerson, who was.
I just want to really quick.
Oh,
and I want to hear the history because I don't know fully the history.
Okay.
But the claim is why people are doing enemas. The claim is that it will help to detox the liver, boost energy, clear skin. Because a lot of times people's skin is bad because they're not processing toxins well, and it's coming out through the skin through inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
So their toxic load is high. So we do these coffee enemas, which stimulate the liver and bile flow. That's the connection, right? So the tube you're talking about,
right.
We're talking about how to help eliminate toxins, which bile is what's essentially helping to process and get rid lubricate that toxin and move it through.
Yep.
So great. I do the coffee enema, stimulate because coffee. Anywho, and then, and that's going to help stimulate the bile flow, which is helping that entire detoxification. So you can eliminate well and get rid of those toxins. And that in turn will help your energy and your skin. This is why people are doing it. So you can see, but
I get the.
You can see why it's popular and why.
Get the marketing.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So Gerson therapy.
Well,
so
Gerson
this
therapy.
Is where this started.
Right. No,
I'll let you talk. No.
So the Gerson therapy and the Gerson Institute has always been about cancer. Like that is their kind of the majority of their practice are people with cancer, advanced cancers who have reached the point where they're no longer getting curative treatments from conventional. Right. And Gerson was a place where you could go to find alternative when there wasn't a whole lot of alternatives. I mean, This is like late 1800s, early 1900s. I mean, this is like been around a long time.
Okay.
So in that vein, then if you start to think about, like we talked a little bit, in the drinking the urine piece of the ancient cultures using things because they didn't know anything and they saw some value in something, right? And so they didn't know as much as we did. But so Gerson's therapy is actually 5 coffee enemas a day for that.
5?
Yes. Well, when you think about
sorry.
to get rid of cancer.
Yes, cancer. Okay, sorry.
So you're trying to boost your body's ability to rid it of the toxin or the cancer, right? So
because cancer cells are essentially little toxin packs. You can think about like the cancer is actually, the cell is actually keeping all the toxins inside the cell, so that it's like a defense mechanism.
Yes, it is a defense mechanism.
So we're
so they're trying to clear
help.
that. So their process is up to 5 times a day, and that is that whole thing you were just talking about, to stimulate bile in order to activate. And so in order to activate the liver, or helping the liver to detox. Okay.
Yeah.
So again, just like when we were talking about urine and urea and being a certain piece of our urine that can have some therapeutic benefits, when you're using coffee, in particular, it has been shown that it can stimulate. There are a lot of cans and maybes in here, but it can stimulate bile by actually activating a particular glutathione, our major antioxidant, right? Our glutathione,
which when we say antioxidant, and you hear that word antioxidant, what that is an agent essentially that helps. What?
No, go ahead. Sorry, I was correcting myself, but go ahead. Sorry.
It's an agent that literally helps to fight toxins in the body, is kind of the best way I can think about it. So, and like, that's why it's like, eat all these antioxidants. Antioxidants are great. They fight this internal stress that's it's called oxidative stress, if you want to get super technical, that's coming from potential buildup of toxins in the body,
or any process that's not
inflammatory.
Working. Any inflammatory process.
So glutathione is like the master of this process.
And there's a particular enzyme. You can go look it up. It's S-transferase, but it's a particular enzyme that if that process of improving the bile flow, that activates this transferase in order to increase the bile flow. It's like a whole circle. Right. Yeah. So there is a nugget in this whole piece of using coffee in particular.
Right.
Now, some of the things I was reading that people are using coffee for is constipation, which I was like,
coffee enemas.
Coffee enemas. What did I say?
Just coffee.
Coffee.
I know it works. It actually works. You put it in your mouth. Yeah. Okay. Anywho.
But that is the reason that might work, is just the fluid that you are putting into your rectum that's going to help to lubricate and loosen in order for you to eliminate.
Anything.
But any kind of liquid would work. I mean, so that's one. So I guess, you just, and then the other thing that they say coffee enemas do is wash away old food and waste.
The whole, you have 5 pounds of poop stuck in your colon.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I mean, anywho, yeah.
Yeah. So again, don't need to put the coffee in there. You could just use an enema. And some people do become, and it just like using laxatives, it's your body becomes very dependent on it, and then it's unable to do that involuntary muscle squeezing in order to move things through, that you end up not being able to actually poop on your own. And now you're committed to a lifetime of laxative or enema or whatever.
The reason why your body becomes dependent on is because through enemas, coffee enemas, and laxatives and enemas, we are messing with our electrolyte balance.
Yes, and that's the biggest thing with coffee. One of the coffee
electrolytes,
downsides.
Magnesium, sodium, potassium, chloride, responsible and play a huge role in that muscular motility, that process that's squeezing and essentially massaging things through, which starts in when you're first eating your food. That whole process starts up here in the tube and it goes all the way down. And so think about all the muscular contractions that need to happen in order for you to eliminate that. your electrolytes are insanely important to that process. So now the reason why you become dependent on that aid, you're actually depleting.
Yeah. You're stripping
stripping the things that you need
right.
when you do it, which is probably one of the big, you do
one
coffee enema. Okay. But like when it's regular use, when people are like, and again, people that I respect are saying you should do them
on a regular basis,
once a month on a regular, like that's where my brain is just like, okay, but like, let's actually think about that. If you're needing,
well, yeah, if that's a thing,
if you're needing that in order to clear, that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I say this all the time, your liver, your bile, your gallbladder, your kidney, all of these things that are responsible for detoxification and elimination, they're made to do the job.
I know.
They already do the job. They already do it. They do it.
Yeah, they need the support to be able to do it well.
Sometimes you need the extra support, but that support is not, the coffee enema is not the correct support.
Correct.
That is going to be more detrimental, stripping. It can irritate the colon. It can cause infections. It can make
tons of inflammation.
If you don't cool it down.
Oh, people. Well, I mean, honestly, I was talking to a friend of mine who works in the ER, and no. She said they do. They see it. They'll probably see a rectal burn at least a couple times a quarter.
Do they tell you that it should be cold coffee?
Well, they do tell you to cool it, but the thing is, like,
cold brew.
But the other, use a cold
nitrogen cold brew.
Yeah. That'll probably freeze it. But while our tube.
What if you were like,
oh my gosh.
Sorry. What if you're like a coffee snob for your coffee enemas? You know what I mean? They're like,
that's hilarious.
They're real big coffee snobs.
That's so funny.
Sorry, my brain is like.
No,
what if there's a battle of like,
but hey,
which cold brew nitrogen?
No, but to that point,
sorry.
Like to that point. Coffees carry a lot of mold.
Mm-hmm.
They carry insects. They carry they're not, coffee beans are not purified.
No, making sure you're getting like the top notch coffee. You have to be a coffee snob to be able to do this.
You really do. You can't just go get Folgers off the shelf in your local grocery store and make a mix.
It's a whole
coffee.
New spin on
coffee snobbery. Yeah.
Anywho.
But I was going to say, some of the things too, like colitis is a big thing that doing coffee enemas in particular. There's a lot of acid in coffee. While our tube is covered with a particular cell type that turns over very quickly just because it's constantly assaulted. The whole tube is constantly under assault. So you have to have skin that'll, flip quick, but it's still pretty sensitive skin. And so, you're assaulting it with something of a certain level of, no, the pH is all wrong for that skin level.
Like part of the detoxification process is packaging these toxins. Actually, first they neutralize them, then they package them in order to go through that very sensitive part of the body.
Yeah, no, I know.
And now we're like, here's some acid.
Yeah, so I mean, there's just, so like I said, there is a nugget in there, buried in there, that it can have, that in laboratory and or, now what's the word when you're, it's like something that happens clinically, but you don't do any research on it. I can't even think of the word, but anyway, just, word of mouth, right? It's like, oh, that really benefited me. Okay.
You're talking about
I am. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you. Anecdotal research, yeah. But like I said, with most things that
you don't need extreme measures.
No, but with most things that you hear about, trends and extremes on either side of things, right? There's always a nugget of truth in there. There's always something that weird money-making thing is built on.
But I would go as far as to say that there are people that these extreme things would greatly benefit. Because without those people, they wouldn't be happening.
No, I know.
So again, and if everyone's an individual and has their specific cases. So in some, like you're saying, like there are some patients that really could benefit from a fecal transplant.
Yes.
Or somebody that maybe just like an enema is the thing, and that's going to really push them in the right direction. So it's like, okay, like because of those little nuggets of truth, but there's probably always a better way.
A less, put it this way, a less risky way.
A less risky way.
You know, that you could get to the same result.
Yes.
But it's interesting. And some of this comes from, yes, people wanting to make money doing stupid things, but it also comes from our society being so addicted to our little boxes that, no, I'm dead serious, where we've lost the ability to like critically think
through the whole.
Yeah. Like, what am I really doing here? Oh yeah, it's fun. Look, I got an invitation to go to a coffee enema party. That sounds like fun.
Because trends are attractive and trends are fun and trends. You have Sally down the street that it did this awesome thing for, and it's a quick fix. And if it's going to make me feel better, why wouldn't I do it? But a lot of these things are risky.
Mm-hmm.
And you're probably not in the exception zone,
right?
You're probably in the normal people zone, right, where it's not going to benefit you and may even harm you.
And I would say if you're going to do one of these more risky procedures, I would definitely look for a qualified, someone with actual credentials that has been researching and understands your body and knows what they're doing to try some of these things. You shouldn't go to your local, I don't even know, like, wellness specialist. Well, no, not even specialist. I'm thinking of things like, certain chains of
like
businesses. Cryotherapy. There would be one.
Are they doing
cryo? I don't know what they're doing. Everything. It's ridiculous. But it's like those kinds of things where they're not qualified to be doing them, but because there's no real regulation around it, they get away with it.
They have a doctor that supervises.
They have one doctor that's exactly. Exactly.
Well, yeah, and to the point too. Again, the support you give your liver may, like, your body may need additional support, but like we said, if you're trying to stimulate bile flow, so if you're constipated, you actually are trying to stimulate bile flow, whether you know you need to or not, but you're having these detox issues. So you're having skin problems, you're having a lack of energy, you're having problems pooping, eliminating, whatever.
Yeah, either way.
Say the more having problems with bowel movements. And you're concerned that you're not detoxing well. I'm going to tell you the 3 things that are going to work a ton better. Fiber. Okay. Are you getting enough fiber? I am not a big, like, track everything you eat forever and always, but I am a big track what you're eating for a small, short amount of time so you can actually get a truthful picture of what's going into your body.
Yeah, because you might think you're doing more or less of something, and you're really not.
So what is your fiber intake? Yeah. Okay. And fiber.
I'm going to talk about fiber for a second, though.
I'm not going to get into fiber, but when we say fiber, it's probably like a word you're hearing all over the place. It's not, this isn't hard. Fruits and vegetables. Honestly, like, are you eating enough fruits and vegetables? There's a lot more we can get into fiber. There's obviously fiber in grains and there's fiber in different things. But like, if you're getting a mix of fruits and vegetables, like 3 to 4 servings a day of like a mix of things, great. And it doesn't even have to, it could be the same thing every day. Like, most of us eat on repeat, and that's okay.
You love pears, eat the pears. Like,
there's fiber in it. So anyways, simple fiber. Second thing, if bile is a concern, you want bitter foods.
Yes.
So I would evaluate if you're eating enough bitter foods. Again, a lot of bitter foods are going to have a lot of fiber. So things like bitter leafy greens, arugula is my top one. It's so good. It's so peppery. It's so nutrient dense and so.
And if you want something that's a little milder, get the baby arugula. If it's not your favorite taste, I'm just saying the baby arugula.
There's lots of greens that are bitter. Yeah. Dandelion greens,
beetroots.
There's Swiss chard, like any. bitter foods, but also in that same category, things like milk thistle and even things like carrots there's a lot out there about eating raw carrots and hacks to detoxification. Again, truth in this, because carrots are really great fiber and really great fiber for bile. So we're helping that whole process. So again, those two things. And then eating enough protein and getting enough B vitamins, which is mainly going to come from your animal protein.
Yeah. Those three things. I know.
Are you eating protein? And then I just go, and then let's simplify it even more. Every meal, protein, fiber on your plate. Good. Like you're good. You're good. You're going to do the things. You're going to see improvements in all of these areas: your energy, your skin, your elimination processes, all these things.
It's really,
within a matter
really
of
simple.
weeks. Like this isn't long term. Yes, you'll want to eat like this long term to see even more benefit, but like within weeks, you will see improvements in your detoxification elimination. It is that simple. Yeah. Now you throw on some additional rest and better sleep, and like,
I know
it's
going amazing. You will feel so much better. But also I will say is what will happen too is, let's say there was something really, there was an underlying cause for some of this.
Yeah.
If you do these things and you get to the point where it's like, I feel a lot better, but I still feel off. That's when you go and you seek professional help.
Professional.
Yeah,
professional.
I did not
from
say
a coffee enema or from eating feces.
Correct. You want to go to someone who knows what they're doing and get the help that you need. But if you do these things, you will eliminate a lot of the guessing that will come and the frustration that comes when you go to a doctor. It'll eliminate a lot of the guessing, a lot of those games that get played, the testing and you're fine and all that stuff, because your body's going to be functioning to the best level it can, so that then if there's something else happening, you'll be able to find that out a lot quicker.
Yeah. Okay, so real quick, real quick. We have decided, we thought it'd be fun to end episodes with embarrassing or more just like digging a little deeper into some health questions that either we've...
Not embarrassing, you're not going to ask me about an embarrassing thing.
Maybe.
Okay.
But either health questions that we've had from people or heard or been hearing a lot about, so on and so forth. So today...
You say it so seriously.
I wanted, there's a question, and I think no one talks about this enough, but why, or what was, I have it written down.
Talk about it.
Yeah. Okay. Is the color, I don't even think girlfriends would talk about this. They're like, is the color of my vaginal discharge normal?
Oh, yeah.
Because we don't talk about discharge.
We don't. And we do, I mean, like, it is completely normal to have discharge, especially when you are menstruating, like when you're in that time period. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I just thought briefly, we'll just answer this question if you've ever been curious. But for the most part, right, like discharge is normal. Especially when you ovulate, you should see more, and it should be a thicker consistency, like egg yolk.
Egg white.
Egg white.
Egg yolk.
I'm sorry, that's where we get
egg yolk would not be good.
Egg whites, and that is very normal, and then it pretty much does subside before you get your period, so on and so forth. So that is normal. A little white. Like more at certain times of the month, it's a really good sign of healthy ovulation. So if you're having that monthly, good for you. You're doing well. Where
you're ovulating.
Where it gets tricky is when we get gray, yellow, green.
Yes.
That's not normal. I wouldn't go so much on amount though.
No.
Because
it's
you
more
fluctuate.
You do fluctuate, and we have. I mean, I was just going to say, individuals fluctuate. Hormonally, we fluctuate.
Yeah.
Our how much sex you're having can have an impact on what kind of discharge you have. Yes, more or less. And yeah.
Like,
no, I'm saying that being sexually active vaginally, vaginal intercourse because your body,
because it's trying to like make sure.
Well, it's
like self-cleaning.
Yes, it has to have your correct pH, and you've just introduced a different pH in there. Yeah, exactly. So I'm just saying that, if that can also impact what it is.
Right.
Some of the things you don't want to see.
I can't do the thing. I don't want to ruin. Listen,
Catherine's favorite hack is to add cottage cheese to all of her food. If she's gonna make a muffin, if she's gonna make
7th grade health class, they ruined this food for every woman out there. If you are a woman that enjoys cottage cheese, I feel like you've had therapy or something, because it is. They ruined it for us, and we still continue to equate it bad discharge with
it's
cottage
true.
cheese.
It's true. If that is what your discharge looks like, you probably and if you are smelling it, that is another
alternative.
Thing. What? Like what? Give me one. What?
Could we say like curdled milk instead?
Well, no, because curdled milk actually isn't.
I just think it's such a bummer, and it makes me
I will not eat it.
It's why you won't even try it.
I will not.
I am almost 35 years old, and when I tell you, I only ate cottage cheese for the first time in my life last year. Last year, because it took me 30-something years or 20-something years to get over even trying it.
I know.
Have you tried it? Have you tried it like ever? Have you ever tried it?
I will not.
You've never tried it, have you?
I probably tried it when I was a kid, and I didn't like the consistency. It's nasty.
And then you put the thing on top of it, and then you never eat it again.
And then I went to medical school, and I, got to experience it firsthand. Yeah, lots of times.
Yeah, that would ruin it.
Yeah, no. No cottage cheese for me.
Sorry, now we're gonna ruin cottage cheese. It's such a great food. It's such a good one. It had like a resurgence too. I really think, what's the company? Good Culture.
Good Culture.
Man, their marketing team just wiped out years of issues.
Here's what I would say.
Sorry.
I would say Good Culture is not the same. It is not the same look and feel.
Oh, great.
As it's more creamy. The culture, the cottage cheese. The cottage cheese. It looks.
I apologize for Good Culture.
Yeah. No, it's a great.
We're saying you're good.
I'm saying yours is. It doesn't have. I might actually try that, because it doesn't have the same nasty consistency.
Okay. Well, anyway,
old school cottage cheese.
Your discharge is normal. For, unless you're getting some of those things, then yes, that's cause to be concerned. Infections, pH balance is off.
Yes.
And then in that case, there are, your vaginal
health
has its own microbiome, and there are things that you can do, lifestyle and food wise, to improve your vaginal microbiome.
Yeah, and it doesn't involve putting anything up in there.
Yes. That's
so just so you know.
That's a great podcast.
What?
Improving vaginal microbiome, vaginal health. I really want to do that. There are
actually some great tests on the market that you can do at home now that will give you a picture, just like we do a stool test to get a picture of our gut microbiome.
Yes.
You can do a swab at home and get a good picture of your vaginal microbiome, especially if you're experiencing frequent, like, I guess, vaginosis and different things where you do have that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
we'll do a whole podcast on this.
Okay.
But for now, that's the brief answer to vaginal discharge. So
I think that's it for today.
That's it.
Thanks for joining.
Question though, before we go.
What?
For the purposes of the podcast, health trends, and education, would you try any of these?
Would I try any of what?
Would you try any of them?
No. Are you talking about coffee, poop, and pee? No. No, not one.
No. Part of me really wants to.
Oh, I know. You want to try and get rid of wrinkles for free.
The urine on the face thing is still kind of like, I don't want to do it because of the pure thing that it's gross.
But they do. But like I said, they do make skincare products.
How much is it though?
I don't know.
Is it affordable?
I don't know. Probably no. It is not. It is not as affordable as your own pee.
No, I'm never gonna do it. But that would be the one I would maybe consider.
Yeah.
Which speaks to my own psychology too.
She started when she was 18. So, you're past the point of getting the benefit.
Well, it speaks to my own psychology too, because I'm like, okay, I mean, I have great skin. I not to like toot my own horn, but I work really hard internally.
Yeah, you do.
Externally, whatever, without, like, I don't do crazy skincare routines, so I wouldn't introduce something now. But my own psychology about my skin health, probably because I struggled with skin for the majority of my life.
Okay. But we did talk about, like, there is, in part one, there is a component of urine that we don't have a lot of it. We don't make a lot of it.
Yeah.
We don't, when we pee, it is not there in a concentration that really could do magical things. But there is a component in it, and they have broken it down into something that can be included in skincare. So,
cool. Well, there you go. All right. Well, we'll see you next time.